Good morning to the panel of judges and our fellow researchers. We are the researchers from Group 2 of 12 Belenite, Mr. Pineda, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Guevara, and yours truly, Ms. Flores. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present to you today our research paper entitled Exploring the Effects of Coronavirus Disease 2019 Pandemic to the Academic Performance of the Senior High School Students. As part of our final requirements in our subject Inquiries, Investigation, and Immersion under our dearest research advisor, Ms. Anne-Lorraine Nicolas, let me introduce our presenters for today's defense, Mr. Pineda, Mr. Guevara, Mr. Garcia, and I. Please go ahead. Let's start with introduction. The goal of this qualitative study is to examine the effects of the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic on senior high school students in the home strand at Francisco G. Nepomuceno Memorial High School's mental health and academic performance. Many institutions are interested in how to successfully provide study tools for online students as the popularity of online education rises. Here's Mr. Pineda to continue the discussion.
Moving on to the next section, which is the statement of the problem. The study will seek to explore the effect of COVID-19 pandemic in senior high school students' academic performance. The study is a descriptive research. It specifically seeks to answer the following questions. 1. What are the effects of COVID-19 pandemic to the academic performance of the grade 12 students? How well are students doing in their academic performance during this time of pandemic? 3. In what way this pandemic affects the student academic performance?
Let's proceed to the significance of the study. Proceeding to the significance of the study in connection with our objective, the findings in our study will benefit first the students. This can assist students with comprehending ideas in a variety of factors to cope up with the new normal education. Second, the teachers. Teachers will gain insight into the perspective of students who are attending online classes as a result of this study. It will motivate them to use these students to improve and develop their teaching methods. School administration, they can get information on how impactful of COVID-19 pandemic to the students' academic performance. Lastly, future researchers. This research will act as a starting point for further research or as a resource for other researchers. They will learn from that and it will be done as a part of their similar studies. Here's Amir Pineda again to continue the discussion.
For the last part of the introduction, our study only covered the grade 12 senior high school student of Francisco G. Nepomuceno Memorial High School, which is officially enrolled during the academic year 2020-2021. We focus on the student perception toward the use of new normal education in relation to their academic performance.
To the research design. As for the first part of the methodology section, which is the research design, this study is in the type of qualitative approach and the researchers utilize descriptive research. Descriptive research will be utilized in this study since it seeks to correctly and methodically describe a population, situation, or event. It can respond to queries about what, where, when, and how, but not why. A descriptive study design can utilize a number of study methodologies to evaluate one or more variables. And my topic is exploring the effect of coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic on the academic performance of senior high school students in FG and MHS. The rationale for this is that this study examines the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on students' academic performance at FG and MHS. Here's Mr. Pineda again to continue the discussion.
Proceeding to the next part, respondent and sampling technique. The respondent of the study were from grade 12 senior high school student of Francisco G. Nepomuceno Memorial High School, academic year 2020-2021.
Let's proceed to the data gathering procedure. There will be two sections of the questionnaire. The first section dealt with the demographic profile of the respondents, specifically their name, age, sex, grade and section. Before distributing questionnaires through electronic forms or Google Forms and emailing them to their email addresses, the researchers obtain the names of the respondents from their advisors. The researchers will send their advisors a permission letter so that they can help them distribute the study questionnaire to each class students. Here's Rafael to continue the discussion.
Moving on to the next section, which is data analysis. Researcher delivered the study's instruments, which were interviews to the respondents who were grade 12 senior high school students. In this data collection method, we will utilize the voluntary sample technique. Using this type of data collection, which will include students' reaction to their decision about note-taking processes based on their academic achievement. This study researcher had the choice of producing objective, fair, and broad findings and conclusions. Now we proceed to ethical consideration discussed by Romeo Garcia.
We thought about some of ethical issues to preserve the respondent privacy, all of their information are safe. In addition, we need permission for respondent advisor to study their student. The learner were not forced into taking part of the study and have the right of refuse.
Many of them characterized the new normal education as difficult and challenging since it required them to make changes in their learning and time management. Half of those polled were dissatisfied with their own methods of learning while the other half were partly pleased. Now may I call on again Mr. Romeo to present discussion.
Most of them describe the new normal education as challenging and hard, due to adapting adjustment in their learning, also the managing their time. Others describe it as a building abstract because it's a unique characteristic that has a reason to have a successful outcome. Moreover, most of them did not encounter any difficulties in learning the lesson because they have a means into internet, search for the topic and seek the information that they need. And they have a high capacity in understanding the lesson. Furthermore, half of the respondents were not satisfied in learning by their own ways, while another half were partially satisfied because learning by yourself can gain you more knowledge and experience.
A new standard form of education has been established due to the COVID-19 pandemic. These students were instructing one another in their own unique ways. This will aid students not just in their academic achievement but also their ability to learn independently in the face of the pandemic. Now, we present recommendation by Romeo Garcia.
According to a new study, online lessons may help students enhance their thinking and reasoning abilities. It was also advised that teachers employed additional learning materials to encourage pupils to participate in classroom discussion.